Hello, third grade artists. We are going to make a paper weaving this week. What you need are scissors, glue, and 2 pieces of paper. You might also need some coloring supplies to give your weaving a little bit of personality, but that is not required. So I have blue and red paper. I'm going to use my blue paper first and set these other things aside. I want you to turn your paper nice and tall. We're going to take this bottom short edge and bring it up to meet the top edge. So I'm folding my paper in half. Sometimes this is called a hamburger fold. It kind of looks like a little greeting card. So once you have that fold completed, we're going to take just the top piece here where the paper can open, so the crease is at the bottom, and I'm going to fold this down just a little ways. Kind of looks almost like a little envelope now. And I'm going to write my name above that line. That's something that's very important when you are in school with me, but I guess since this is staying at your house, you might not even need to do that. But you do need that fold. So now I'm going to open up that little crease that I made, and I'm going to see this line right here. That's an important line. That's going to be my stop sign. So we're going to make some cuts in our paper that start at the bottom of the paper, right where the crease is, and go straight up to the crease line. It's important that they go all the way up to the crease. So I'm going to start in the middle of my paper, and I find that's about the middle, and I'm going to cut all the way up to that crease. I'm going to make some more cuts by cutting each half in half again. So now I have these 4 sections. I'm going to do that one more time with all of my cuts going all the way up to that stop line. So now we have created our warp and our loom kind of together, okay? So these are our warp threads that stay still. Now we need to create our weft threads, which are going to move over and under through the warp. So to do that, we're going to start with our next piece of paper. And again, we're going to turn it tall, bring the short edge of the paper up to the top edge of the paper. We're going to crease it. Now let's do that again. We're going to keep it folded and then fold it up one more time. See if you can even do one more time in half. So I'm folding in the same direction in half, in half, in half, in half. So when I open it up, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 sections. Okay, so again, what that step was, if you need to see it again, is I folded my paper in half. And then I folded it in half again while it was still folded. And then one more time just to create these little strips. We're going to cut on all of those lines, carefully, nice straight cuts to create our weft strips. So cut on all of those creases and you should end up with 8 pieces like this. All right, I have cut my 8 strips. Now let's bring our warp back over here. Now I'm going to take one strip at a time. We're going to move our weft piece, so my red piece, in a pattern through the vertical warp. To do that, I'm going to first put my weft piece on top of the first warp. This little red piece is going to now move underneath of the second warp. For me, it's easiest to have 2 hands on my weaving. One hand is pushing the red paper through, and the other hand is kind of helping pull the red paper through and also lifting up the blue paper when the red paper needs to go underneath. So let's just have this basic weaving pattern of over, under, and when you're done, you can push that all the way up. So what I did was I used my red weft piece and I wove into my warp by moving over, then under the blue, over the blue, under the blue, over the blue, under the blue, over the blue, under. Now, to continue our weaving, we want it to be strong. So we can't put the weft piece in the exact same way. This is what we're not doing. Let me show you what we should not do. Don't do this. If we put that weft piece in the same way, look at how weak my weaving is. It's not strong at all. So don't do that. We have to do something different. What we need to do, instead of going on top first, we want to go underneath first. And that's going to make our weaving strong. So this time for my second weft piece, I'm not going to go over under. I'm going to go under and then over. So we'll continue that pattern. Under, over, under, over. Now I'm going to lift up the blue so the red can sneak under, over, under, over, and then let's push it all the way up to the top. So now it's starting to look like a checkerboard. I'm going to continue that sort of pattern doing these two different directions. So I just did my second weft piece, and that piece started underneath. So my next piece can't go the same way that my second piece went. So now I need to go back to the on top first. So now I'm going over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. I'm going to sneak that all the way up. I'm going to continue weaving to fill up my warp using those same two sort of directional ways. First, I start over, then I go under. So we need to put as many weft pieces as we can in here to fill up this whole weaving. All right, I think I can fit one more. This one looks like it's a little bit too thick to fit in there. So let's make a little trim to make that piece a little bit skinnier so that I can fit it into the warp. All right, there we go. Fantastic. Now everything is fit in nice and tight. There's no holes in my weaving. Everything is lined up really well. Now we can glue down the ends. So you do need to secure all of the ends. Oops. All of the ends of your weft pieces, so like my red pieces. And I'm going to do that on both sides just to make sure that my weaving isn't going to wiggle at all. Let's flip it over and do the same thing over here. Other side. All right, this weaving is all secured. Now you can turn it into another piece of art or enjoy it on its own. Nice work, third grade artist.